I love teaching, but I don't like grading. There are a number of reasons why I don't like grading, but the main reason is that it just takes a lot of time. This is a recording from our June monthly gathering where Bill Niezgodski shares how he created a custom ChatGPT to automatically grade his essay assignments. There are a lot of things to unpack in this video, but here are my top three. One, he created a custom ChatGPT through a ChatGPT, all without coding. It's all about giving the right instructions. Two, it could take in reference materials such as the APA guidelines. And number three, and I can make it to comment written in a way that I actually give the feedback. All of this could save me a lot of time, especially when I have a lot of essays to grade. And here's Bill from Trine University.
This Trine Online assignment grader was something that I threw together just for my own purposes. The thing that I don't necessarily like, ChatGPT gives you the tools. If you've never created your own GPT, Trine Online gives you the ability to create your own GPT. And when you're looking at your GPT and you create it, you use ChatGPT to create your GPT. So it's basically you have a conversation with ChatGPT and it says, oh, hey, what would you like to create today? And I literally had a conversation. I'd like to create a GPT that would allow me to grade assignments that are submitted to me by students, and those assignments would be discussion forum posts, responses to other students, and essays. And I would like them to be graded based upon a rubric. So what I was able to do is I was able to come into this create method is actually a create word. So I asked ChatGPT based upon what my GPT can do currently. What would you say that some of the things that I should do to fix it or clean it up and add more functionality? And it tells me these things weren't necessarily available or weren't as readily available before ChatGPT 4.0. So I'm sharing this with you because this is the core about how I created ChatGPT, or how I created my Trine Online assignment grader, how I created my GPT. It's a conversation back and forth. The conversation back and forth allowed ChatGPT to help me create the GPT, and it created all these different features and functions, and it took in the information. I have two rubrics specifically for my courses, and one's a written assignment rubric and the other one's a discussion forum rubric. And I said, hey, I'd like to grade based upon these rubrics. ChatGPT stored them as knowledge for the GPT. And then I also said that everything that's submitted must meet the APA 7th edition. So I uploaded the APA 7th edition and gave it the knowledge that I wanted it to be able to do. All right. I can upload a lot more knowledge in here. This is barely any knowledge that I'm telling ChatGPT to leverage based upon this grading tool. I can take documents that are written by me and I can say I'd like to I can write an essay, any topic, right? Any topic. Doesn't have to, it could be something that I wrote in college, it could be something that I recently wrote, it could be a paper that I wrote to, and submitted to somebody. And I could sit there and say, hey, here are 5 examples of my writing style. Please take these 5 examples and create a writing style based upon Bill Niezgodski. And it will create a writing style based upon Bill Niezgodski's writing style. It will store it. So I can go in and I can say, using my writing style, provide feedback based upon the rubrics, depending upon what type of assignment I submit. So it's pretty straightforward. I can grade 24 essays in just under an hour. And so I'm going to show you how I do this, but it's like grade this discussion post using the forum. I don't need to tell it I found out using this that I don't have to tell it that I want the forum rubric. Okay. Evaluate this. I don't have to tell it that I needed the written assignment. I don't need to tell it the rubric. It reads what I submit it, and it determines that, oh, hey, this is an essay or this is a discussion post. And so it's intelligent enough to know which is which. When I submit a discussion post, it's intelligent enough to know that, hey, you know what? This was submitted on the Thursday, not the Wednesday, so it's 1 day late. So you should dock points because it's 1 day late. Again, detailed feedbacks. AI is not perfect. So sometimes it'll have a hiccup. It'll start to give me gibberish, and I have to restart my computer and just kind of flush my cache and flush the memory and come back in. And I've got everything done. I have everything filled out in my grade book except for I need the detailed feedback for the essay. So I will go and say, give me detailed feedback for this student's essay. And I don't have to resubmit the essay because it's already read the essay once. It knows the essay, so it'll give me the feedback. Again, I don't have to tell it for them. I don't have to. Now, this is one in particular that APA is not listed in any of the rubrics, but the APA guidelines are graded separately, right, to tell me if somebody's way off, right? Now, my courses are project management and advanced system modeling at Trine. And I'm going to come out of this because this is what it looks like behind the scenes. This is what it looks like. So if I go into, so I'm able to download all the essays. So I did that, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to upload an essay. These are all examples of essay one for a project management. So I upload the assignment, and I can hit enter. I hit enter here. So my categories are content, which is 40%. Organization and format, which is 25%, styles 25%, grammar and spelling's 10%. That's my rubric. So it tells me, where are we looking at overall feedback? It's accomplished. It falls in the 86th. So 86 is not one of the 25, 50, 75, 100 that's configured in the grade book. They want it graded specifically to the rubric. In this one, I would look at the overall feedback, and I would look at does it fall closer to, when I look at it, does it fall closer to the 100 or does it fall closer to the 75? And this one in particular, I'm just telling you how my mind works. But again, there's some, APA formatting where it talks about, some key points for improvement. Text citations, want some more in-text citations, make your work a little bit more concise and avoid awkward phrasing. So in this one, I would probably take this one down to a 75 just based upon the fact that there are those 3 key points for improvement. It's to me, it's not a mastered document. So again, I didn't have to tell it what it was doing. It knew that it was a written assessment. Okay. So it balanced it out on the written assessment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you from the discussion forum. So when I'm doing the discussion forum, I just basically make sure that the student name that I'm grading is the discussion that I'm grabbing their initial discussion. So this is that student's initial post, and I grab the whole bit, right? I grab the Turnitin, and I grab all the different grading pieces there, and I come in, same concept, right? I've already had this apply my writing style. Now, my grading system, what I do is I copy paste. I go in and I take the grades out of this, and I put the different grades in. And once I have the different exemplary here, exemplary, accomplished, when I have those in there, then I copy and paste. Now, a tool that I do use, and I'm going to show it to you on this screen because I just want you to see, is like contribution to online learning community. That's that's a hard one to grade, right? Based upon AI. So contribution to online learning community, but it does tell me that part of what we're looking for there is, does this discussion post engage other students, right? And how do they ask questions, present information that would challenge other students to engage and have discussions with them on the post? That's really hard to determine based upon AI. I know that a lot of professors will sit there and say, I keep a list of 4 or 5 responses and I rotate through those responses. And this was one way for me to do it.
Thank
This
you,
is
Bill.
just,
Just for the time check,
I'm done.
give some time for Eric.
Yeah, I'm done. So I'm ready for Q&A. I mean,
Yeah,
you
so I
got
have
questions
a
or,
couple of questions on chat.
yeah, okay.
The question is, can you upload multiple essays? So I saw that you downloaded multiple essays on your computer, and we just saw one essay go through. Can you do like 20 at a time, or is there a limit to it?
You know what? So early on, I used to just take a zip folder and I used to take all 24 of my essays and upload them all, and it worked fine. And then as ChatGPT got to be more popular, even though I pay for the service, they started putting a governor on that. I started hitting my 40 requests per 3 hour window or whatever really quickly. And then they started sitting there, they sending back going, it would be easier to break this down into smaller groups than it is to send 40 documents or 30 documents at one time. It used to work. It's worked hit and miss since. I don't know if it works now that they rolled out 4.0. I've just kind of gone back to process it. But yes, I was doing 40 at one, or the entire class at one time, 24 at one time. I would do a zip folder, and it would just, walk away, go get a coffee or whatever, come back, and then parse out the information.
Got it.
So
Margaret asked, how do you explain this grading approach to your students?
So my students, I allow AI to be used in the course. I don't allow AI to be used. They know that they're not allowed to copy and paste. They know that there's an AI scoring, and the AI scoring is pretty black and white. I mean, once it's over a certain percentage, it's more AI than it is their personal writing. I've shared with them that I use this means. This isn't the only mean by which I grade. So I go in and this is my baseline pass, and then I go through and use this to formulate my response. I have it summarized, so I see a lot of summaries of the different qualities. The one thing that my students do appreciate is the fact that it takes away my ability to show favoritism. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, right? I tell them that I use AI to avoid, like, I had a hockey player. It was a woman. She played hockey at the university, and I played hockey growing up. She wants to be a doctor, and she fell short on some things, and I didn't know. I mean, I knew who she was, but I didn't know necessarily what her exact grades were because I used the AI to do the grading, and so it took the personal connection away. So had that not happened, I probably would have bent a little bit. Now I do bend, and I tell my students this. I said, I bend. My students that reach out to me for help or reach out to me and say, hey, I'm 3 percentage points below where I need to be to graduate or where I need to be to make this happen. If they ask me and they can provide me with a argument, and they can stand by their argument and just discuss it and fight it, and sell me on it, I'm going to give them the 3%.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Very few
Yeah.
students are willing to have that discussion with me.
Mhm.
But again, I mean, that's the way real world works,
Yeah.
right? If you're able to have that discussion, generally speaking, most people are accommodating.